Hey, this is Bruno Vigor. What we have here is Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, made from McFarlane. I have to say right off the bat that they did a really good job with the sculpt and paint of this figure and everything. But the only real problem is the lack of accessories and the price, of course. I had to pre-order this right away because I love this version of Catwoman. Probably the best looking Catwoman ever. We're going to go over the scale comparison and articulation, which is what this review is made for. We'll go over the sculpt and paint, which obviously will be a good thing already based on the past pictures of this figure. Now, without further ado, let's get her off the stand and take a closer look at scale. Now we're going to go over sizing comparison. Going to start with some Batman figures. Here she is next to Michael Keaton Batman figures from McFarlane, of course. So I am not going to review Michael Keaton Batman in this video, only Michelle Pfeiffer. The two guys on the left and right, they are 112 and they are way too small compared to her. And more Batman figures. The one on the left is Task Force Batman. And the one on the right is Batman Begins, which is one of my favorite figures that have been released this year. So yeah, that's what she looks like next to them. And for the bad guys, I got Joker action figure on the left from McFarlane, and Black Adam also from McFarlane. And here we have the Hood from Marvel Legends on the left, and the police officer from Figures Toy Company on the right. Now we're going to go over articulation. Starting with the head. She looks up this far, down this far, and side to side, tilt this far, and full 360 swivel on the head. And then this, the ball joint, the shoulder cuffs of sword, is not moving the way I want them to. So they're kind of stiff. But good thing is they don't really ruin the sculpt. So yeah, but it does not move for some reason. And then she has this rotation at the shoulder, and arms go up about this far, and double jointed elbows. She could easily be single jointed and would still be fine. You know what I mean? But she does have double joint. Let me try the other side. It's tight on the, it's really small, so I have to be careful. Oh, jeez. Okay, so she has double jointed elbows and bicep swivel, of course, and she has a hinge right on her wrist and a swivel. And this torso right here, it has no articulation, just at the waist. So she arches back this far. I'm pushing it. That's it. And then forward. That's it. That's as far as she can go. Arch, back, forward crunch, this far. That's it. And side, tilt, and full 360 swivel. So it's a little limited here. And then the legs, it can go up because the diaper piece is pretty soft. So it can go up pretty high. So that's as far as she can go with the legs, which looks good. And split about this far, which is really good. And she does not have a thigh swivel at all. If there was a more thigh swivel, there will be a hole on the bottom right there, and it would look weird with a hole there. So that's why there's no thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Looks pretty good when bent, I think. It's not bad. It looks pretty good. And then a swivel at the angle. It goes up this far, down this far. This is not bad. And it does have angle pivot, but you have to turn it and then just kind of shove it over to the other side so you can do this swivel, the angle pivot. So it goes this far and this far. And toe hinge, which is not necessary. I swear, if they didn't include toe hinges on that, I wouldn't even be mad at all, because it just doesn't make any sense. They really put a lot of love into this. And what's interesting about this is they even bothered to add holes in there on the bottom. Even with that tiny toe hinge, they still made room for that hole to go in, which is crazy. So that's a lot of dedication on such a figure like that. So yeah, that's it for Articulation. I have to say, Articulation is not bad for this figure. It is not bad. I mean, she can have an extra torso articulation, like up here, but then it would just look weird, you know? So they made a good choice, just making that one-piece torso because of that corset that she's wearing. I don't think she is that flexible in the movie either. She has to move her legs quite a lot. But I think her torso has actually been very stiff because she was wearing a torso, and because she was wearing a corset. So that's yeah, it looks really good, man. Now I would like to go over sculpt and paint, starting with the head. This head sculpt looks really good, really well done. It looks just like her when she was young. Of course, she has those pronounced cheekbones, as you can see here. So that helped her likeness quite a bit. And those eyebrows and the lips and the head shape, they got everything just right. My only nitpick with this head sculpt is the little piece of plastic that's sticking out on the bottom, as you can see. I hate that. So hopefully I can use a little bit of very little grit sandpaper and just sand that off. But unfortunately, it looks like it is black plastic, so that means I have to paint over it. And speaking of skin tone, this is a good skin tone, but I wish it was more pale, because in the movie her skin was like pale as snow, you know what I mean? So she had a very pale looking skin. Like he has some complexion, but it was just very, very pale looking. So, yeah, I don't know. But it's a good head sculpt though. It really looks like Michelle Pfeiffer. So they did a good job on the likeness, and it's got a lot of stitching going on all around the head. It's beautiful, man. I love it. And it's got sculpted stitch. Like, the stitchings are sculpted. I can feel it running through my fingers. I can feel the bumps on my fingers. So it's actually sculpted stitches, which is nice. This one, on the other hand, these are not sculpted. They're just screen printed onto the body all over. And I don't mind that at all. At all, right? And you can't even tell they are sculpted, right? Because it's, it's just white stitches. And yeah, they did it all over, not just the front. Sometimes McFarlane, they would get a little lazy and just paint the front and not the back, like their Batman figures. But this one is completely screen printed all over from the front, all over on the front and the back, This guy, they even painted the tie on the back too. They did a really, really, really good job with this. And there's a sculpted tie going all the way. That's like just so much detail, man. So much detail. And a little bit of wrinkles at the ankles. And I like the proportions of this figure. It looks perfect. The corset though, I wish it lines up with the trunks piece right here. I wish this is lined up with that. And I wish her hips is a little wider. It's a little flat, kind of really thin. I don't know if she really looked like that in the movie. Maybe she does look like that. Maybe it is accurate. So, yeah. But other than that, it's fantastic. The sculpt work is incredible. Incredible. I'm really impressed with this. Probably their best work when it comes to female action figures. This is the best female action figure ever made from McFarlane. And this is up there with the collector edition Wonder Woman. And I like the way they paint it. Like, it's obviously, it's tinted in black plastic, but I like how they make it glossier than normal. Like the sheen is very shiny. So it looks like she's wearing like a skin tight suit of sorts. And then her skin tone is not as shiny anymore. It's like flat, matte finish on it. So it really helps stand out a lot. And I can't stress enough just how well done this one is from McFarlane. They did a fantastic job, like awesome job with this. It's excellent. It is excellent. It really is. Now for accessories, she has a whip. And it is not wired. It's just plain plastic. It snaps right back in place. So it's just a standard plastic whip. And then a disc stand, which is very helpful for a character that has high heels. As you can see here, she has very inconvenient high heels. So these are helpful. And then she has a taser. Now, when it comes to a taser, as you can see here, this is a taser. When it comes to a taser, I wish she has a little bit of a sheath on her boot right there. Because she did have that in the movie. She had a sheath right there. And you can place that little sheath that little taser, and you can place that little taser into the sheath onto the boot, but oh well. And then there's this stupid useless card that makes no sense at all. Let's do some poses in my opinion. I think this is one of McFarlane's best action figures they made. The overall sculpt of this is fantastic, and the head sculpt itself is excellent. This head looks almost just like Michelle Pfeiffer, and that's not easy to do, because Michelle has a perfectly proportionate face with facial features placed at the right places. You know what I mean? So it's difficult to sculpt the likeness of her. Like Christopher Reeve and Chris O'Donnell are the same way. They are good-looking people that don't have facial features that stand out compared to other facial features on the face. So when it comes to live action figures, facial likeness is extremely important. I mean, that's the selling point. Otherwise, what's the point of it being called a live action figure? You know what I mean? For example, Christopher Reeve was wearing the exact same outfit as the Superman in the comics. What helped distinguish him from the comic book Superman? That's right, facial likeness. This figure is painted perfectly, although I do want this to have a more pale skin, but that's just a small gripe of mine. It's still a good skin tone. The stitches are accurate, and they're perfectly painted all over the body. That's rare to see. McFarlane usually just paint the front and not the back, hoping nobody notices, but everybody will notice that. The articulation is okay, but I can't be too mad about it because even Michelle had a stiff torso due to the corset she was wearing in the movie. This figure can pose just fine other than the torso. The waist can still rotate and tilt at least. The accessories are okay, but for the price point, they suck, okay? If it was a $20 figure, I wouldn't even complain about the lack of accessories, you know what I mean? However, I understand why they charge so much for it. Nostalgia is a powerful thing, and they're taking advantage of it. I'm not saying it's okay, but it's not right, but I get it. Even at $35, it's sold out incredibly fast. I'm just lucky I was able to grab one before the pre-order sold out quick. Do I recommend this? Oh yes, especially if you like this iteration of Catwoman. This is the only Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman ever made in this scale, which is 1/10 scale. It's the only one, literally. If you see this in the store, grab it without hesitation. It's the best Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman for this price point. If you pass this and wait for Beast Kingdom to release a Michelle Catwoman, you can, but that is twice the price, and it is 1/9 scale, which is about 8 inches tall, which is very big. Same size as Mego figures. But that's an option for you if you pass this one. If you decide to pass this and get the Jazzing 1/6 scale Catwoman, then that'll cost you about $400. So with that said, this McFarlane figure is clearly the most affordable one you can get for now. Sorry. That's just how it is. Because, this is a nostalgic figure. It's a well-known character of Catwoman. Almost everyone knows this version of Catwoman. That's why it sold out really quick. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review and that this helped you decide on whether or not you should get it. I think you should get it anyway. Well, that's it for now. Keep posting your action figures, and I'll see you soon. Take care.